Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Spotlight, produced by Sight and Sound Events. My name is Jody Harris, and I am the CEO of Fun of Sight and Sound Events. And sitting next to me today is my husband and my business partner, the man behind the curtain, the man that makes it all happen, Pat Harris. Thanks, Pat.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. Today we are going to be talking about a subject that's near and dear to our hearts. It has to do with your music. And this information pertains to anybody, whether you're having us DJ, somebody else DJ, you live in another city, another state, even another country. We're going to talk to you about music. So this is very helpful information for everybody out there planning any event.
And this is relevant.
Any event.
And this is relevant for any type of, whether it's social, corporate, no matter what it is, this all applies.
Yes.
So today we're going to be going over your playlist, your must plays, play if possibles, special requests, custom edits, and hard to find music. And we'll explain what that is when we get to it.
Cool. All right, so let's start with the first question, Pat. It has to do with the playlist. It's either it's something that people demand, like, I've got to pick every song, or it's one where, like, especially in the inquiry call, when somebody inquires with a DJ, they don't even talk about it. And you don't find out later that the playlist was just insane.
Yeah, and the big thing here is, with a lot of aspects of your planning, you need to follow the KISS rule. Keep it simple. Unfortunately, it seems that a lot of people, regardless whether it's social or corporate, tend to overcomplicate the musical portion of it and try to pre-program their event. This is an absolute no-no. The reason why you hire a good DJ or a good entertainer is because of their music knowledge and their ability to move the crowd. Now, their ability to do that is considerably hampered when you give them a playlist and say, all you can play is this. You take them from 100,000 choices to 50 choices or 100 choices. And a lot of times there's going to be, they're not even the best songs in the category. So you have to take yourself outside of just what my favorite songs is and start thinking about what is going to work for your crowd, because ultimately you want the most successful event and everybody to have fun. This isn't a Spotify playlist that you're listening to by yourself in your car. This is music that is being played for you and all of your guests.
And your DJ needs to program. You know, that's a big part of it too. You got like a mixing aspect, but you also got the programming aspect of it. And some songs just don't go good with some songs. Like, you really need to think about programming music. That's super important next to obviously mixing. I think programming is more important than mixing, because you've got to be able to read the crowd. You know, you got to be able to know what's going to work. You got to look at the age group. It just can't be your stuff. It's got to be a wide variety of stuff for everybody. And if you want that much control, then, you know, that's not good. You got to leave something to your DJ entertainer. That's why you hired them.
Yeah, and the reality is when you're putting together sets, you're going off how the audience and the crowd is reacting. And not only, sometimes now that you're going to want to shift into another genre of music, having the right choices to switch to is critical. So if you don't have a good place to go, you're kind of up against a wall, and you're going to just clear the dance floor.
The other thing is, when you guys put your playlist together, if you do make a must playlist, you go overboard. You go way overboard. We have gotten request lists that could be like 8 hours long for a 4-hour event.
Of must plays.
Of must plays.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that your DJ, whoever it is going to get to all those songs, 8 hours of songs in 4 hours, unless they just play the chorus.
So,
and we're going to get to that in a minute.
So let's define what a must play really should be. A must play isn't all the songs you like. A must play is something that has some importance to you, whether it be something that is part of your youth, has a significance between if you're getting married, a family member, or you and your spouse.
Like, every wedding we have to hear Disco Inferno.
Yeah, an important song. So that's what your must plays need to be. Generally, you need 10 per event. That's it. It doesn't seem like a lot, but those are just the ones that you want to make sure are played. And when you say must play, you got to understand too that the DJ has to make sure that those songs are in their library. So if you have 100 must plays, they're going to spend hours going through the library and making sure creating. So that can also create more cost because most DJ companies aren't just going to do that for free. So you're going to find that you're going to have additional expense. And again, you're painting your DJ into a corner because you're limiting what they can play.
And let's just say one thing about the must play. When we're talking about a wedding must play doesn't include your first dance, your father, daughter, your mother, son. That's always a must play. So
those are activities.
We're not even talking about that. So don't go, oh my God, well, what do you mean? I can't pick my own first dance. You can pick your own first dance, father, daughter, mother, son, whatever it is. We're talking about during the open dancing. So let me make that very clear. We're talking about open dancing stuff.
Yeah. And so you really want to look at what are the important songs to you, what have meaning to you. The next category is the one where you can pretty much put as many songs as you like because it's just getting an idea of what you like, and that's the play if possible.
Absolutely.
Let's say you give us a list of 500 songs. Okay, great. But that's just giving me an idea of what you like, and maybe you had your guests include a bunch of songs in there. And that will give us a feeling for where you are musically, what types of music, what styles, what genres, what years, what ages you have. And that gives us an idea of where to start and where to go to. So that's really helpful for the DJ because he also doesn't have to play that specific song. He or she may know a better song to go into that's going to work better for the crowd. Because remember, your average DJ has done hundreds, if not thousands, of these events. They know in general what works and what doesn't work, and they know how to read the crowds. So you have to pull on that experience and allow them to do their job best. So having a big play if possible list, that's no big deal. That just means, hey, this is what we like.
And if you have that kind of time to create a 500 song list,
we've had it.
God bless you.
Yes. And that would probably be the next thing, unless you, I think the challenge lies in, you'll get a client that will say, I've spent 4 days putting this list together. You have to play it. And a lot of it is they want you to play the songs just because you spent so much time putting it together.
4 days putting the list together.
So don't mix up that time that you put into it and the success of your event, because ultimately you want your event to be successful. It shouldn't just be play these because I spent so much time on it.
Agreed.
The reality is if you have to think that hard, it probably wasn't that special of a song.
And I do feel that every event is different for every person. There's no such thing as cookie cutter. Every event should have a sprinkle of your personality involved. Every event, from the music to your decor, but every event does need a touch of you, So just don't get overboard, because what it comes down to, and we talked about it in the previous spotlight with Heather, is trust. You have to trust your vendors. You have to trust, especially in this spotlight, your DJ entertainer, because again, as Pat mentioned, we're the ones that go out there every single weekend. Every weekend we're doing someone's party, and we go from every kind of culture and every kind of ethnicity, and just every kind of region.
Age groups.
So you got to put some trust, and that's up to you. When you hire that DJ, don't go, how much do you charge? And go with the cheapest DJ.
Or say it like that.
Yeah, or say it like that. I'm only calling because I just want to get an idea of how much you charge. No. You need, if this is important to you, then you got to go the extra mile and do your homework.
Yeah, because it really is easy to hire the wrong person, especially when, we get it, a lot of people are booking a service they've never booked before, so they don't know what to ask. So the first thing we ask is, how much? Which is kind of the worst thing to ask, because you don't know what you're asking for. We do not all do the same thing, nor do we do it all the same way. In fact, if you have 10 DJs within the same company that receive the same training, all 10 DJs will give you a different result.
And the other thing to keep in mind, and this is a no-no, and we're going back to the DJ thing here, is you do not crash somebody else's wedding, okay? You do not ask where you're spinning this Saturday because me and my fiance want to see you at a wedding. That is the biggest no-no that you can do. A, you're not invited to that wedding. B, you don't know what you're seeing. The music that the DJ is playing
is based on their
is based
wants.
on that couple's stuff. And there's enough technology and media out there, especially social media, that you should be able to get a good feel for what you're looking for, based just on social media alone. And if a company is not using social media, you know what my answer is? Ding dong, hello, move on to the next DJ company, because it's 2023 and everybody should be using some form of social media. So again, when it comes to the music, do not ask if you can see somebody DJ at the JW Marriott this weekend because you and your husband are thinking, or fiance are thinking about hiring them. So again, it all comes down to every event is unique. Every music is different. Every playlist is different. What's done at one isn't done at the other.
And even our energy levels, let's face it, that, when you have somebody like Jody who's very high energy, there's a lot of times she has to rein it in because that's not what the client wants. So they want something much more formal, much more laid back, less announcing. You might go in there and go, wow, she wasn't all that exciting.
She's not the CEO of fun.
But that's because that's what the client wanted. So everything's based upon you. Now, we talked a little bit about Spotify lists before and how the DJ is not a Spotify list. That doesn't mean that we're against using them, and this is why. If you create a shareable Spotify link, that could be something that you can get all of your friends and everybody involved. The question you want to ask is to everybody, give me songs and tell me what songs you want or what songs do you like that it will get you to dance. Not just what you like, because songs that you like are not necessarily songs that get you to dance. What is going to get you out of your chair and onto the dance floor? Those are the songs that should go on the Spotify list. And then you can share it with your DJ company, and they can use that list and really get an idea of what excites you and your crowd. And if you do it getting your guests involved, then you're getting a much wider variety and a better feel for what it's going to require that evening to get everybody up and partying.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Because if you ask people, Free Bird is a wonderful song. It's way too long, but it's not going to pack your dance floor the way Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk might. So just saying. Pat, let's move on to the custom edit. Let's kind of talk about this. You recently had an event that you DJ'd, believe it or not.
Yes.
And let's talk about this part.
So the big thing about custom edits is that it can be a fun thing, or it could be, for lack of a better term, completely meaningless.
Now, what is a custom edit?
A custom edit means that you want songs, a multitude of songs to come in and out at different points of the song. You don't want the whole thing. You want a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There should be a purpose behind it. A lot of times what we find is I just want the beginning of this part and then come and the audience really never notices it. The only time where a custom edit really works is when you do the choreographed mashups where, they've had those dancing with dad, and you start with a slow song and it goes into something else. Now, understand that generally you don't want to request that your DJs do that live, because your DJ isn't just mixing, they're also having to pay attention to what's going on the floor. Custom edits take them away, especially if you want it live. Custom edits take them away from what's happening on the floor. They have to be looking down at their equipment. And unless you have a two-man team, it becomes extraordinarily difficult. And again, most people are not going to know why. And a good example, I will tell you that we had a situation recently where, for example, we want to start our first dance at 10 seconds and stop it at 2.5 minutes. That may seem like something simple, but here's the thing. The reason why they wanted to start it at 10 seconds because there's a long intro. A lot of times we use that intro to get the couple out onto the floor. So, and you may say, I want to end at 2.5 minutes, but what if you want to end at 2 minutes? Mm-hmm. Most of the time, if you're ready to go, you just say, look, when I look at you and I give you the nod, we're done. Mm-hmm. So simplify it. Don't have to write everything down. Even more specific was bringing in a song at 10 seconds, getting out of the song at 17 seconds, going into the next song at 1 minute and 25 seconds, and getting out at 2 minutes. So we're really starting to chop things up there, and that was for our grand entrance. And again, nobody is going to appreciate what we did. And this is something that generally has to be edited ahead of time. Again, because a DJ can't be cue. We can set cue points on the songs ahead of time, but now we have to hit those cue points. Now we have to do them, and where our head is buried in the laptop and not on what's happening on the floor, which is critical for a good MC to make sure they know what's going on the floor.
And the thing is, I got to be honest with you, Pat, and audience. Nobody cares.
No.
Your guests sitting in the chairs at your wedding reception or at your ceremony does not care that you came out to the third "the" in the lyrics of what am I thinking of? 1,000 Years.
Yeah.
That you came out when Christina Perri said the word "the," but it's not the first "the," it's not the second "the," it's the third "the." They don't care. They don't care. You know when they care? When there's dead air. When it goes flat. When nothing happens, that's when they care. They're not paying attention to the lyric. The only person paying attention to the lyric is you.
Yeah.
And you're going to stress yourself out because you're in the back pacing, especially during a ceremony where you're pacing. You're like the Rain Man. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm waiting. Shh, nobody talk. And no, nobody needs that on their wedding day or event day.
You add a lot of stress to your day when you do
you're ready
these.
to walk out. Let your person play the music. Let the song breathe. Take a breath.
Yeah.
Let it breathe. Close your eyes. You only walk down the aisle once unless you're J-Lo. And just enjoy the moment.
Yes.
And go out. Put that right foot out. And that's how you do it, folks. That's how you do it.
And there are times when you'll use multiple songs for a single activity, but we never as DJs pre-edit those and say we're going to start right at 2 minutes and 12 seconds because we're doing it based upon the crowd. We're watching the audience. Maybe if you start off with something slow and mellow, then all of a sudden you jump into a banger, But you're not doing that based on time. You're doing that based on your audience. So it's never a good idea to time this stuff out and then just do it because maybe the audience needs a little bit longer to get going. We need to organize. People aren't out on the floor yet. A lot of this needs to be fluid, and you need to be able to control what's going on the floor and know, okay, this is the time. Boom. Hit it and you go. But that's something that your DJ should have control over.
Absolutely.
Now, the next area, which being a destination city like Las Vegas, where 95% of the people that come here that we do events for are from out of state or out of the country, we get a lot of these where they're just unusual requests, special requests that are not typically found on our Amazon Music or something else.
Or a pool
or record pools. Here's the thing about DJ companies, at least legitimate ones. If it is not commercially available, that means if I cannot go online and purchase it, I cannot legally use it. Even streaming something that is not licensed properly is a violation of the copyrights of the music and can get your company in trouble. Now, if they don't know that, or if they go, nah, that's not a big deal, they don't understand how this works. So you have
You're going to get caught one day.
Yeah, and we've had known companies have gotten caught and have gotten hit with 5- and 6-figure fines. So in order to avoid that, anything that you want to request, make sure that is commercially available or that you have access to a copy of the song that you can legally share. We've got people that all the time, they see a cover version of a song on YouTube that was never recorded. In fact, sometimes the artist that did it didn't even get the approval from the original artist to record it, and they want to use that song in their wedding. We can't do that. Legally, we cannot do that. We cannot rip a song from YouTube. That's already a violation. And 2, that is not a commercially available song. So you want to make sure that whatever you ask for is commercially available. This also falls into traditional music if you're from another country where you have traditional music that you grew up with or whatever else. We have to have access to it. We've had clients that came and asked for music that we could not find anywhere on any service, but we were expected to come up with 50 songs in that genre. So make sure that what you're asking for is commercially available, because otherwise the DJ company, 1, can get in a lot of trouble, or 2, they're just not going to be able to find it.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, and then one more thing before we close it out. I know it wasn't on our list, but the grand entrances. I just want to touch on that real quickly since we are talking about the music. Individual songs for grand entrances.
Ah, yes. Individual songs for grand entrances. That falls under the keep it simple rule. 1, it's, I know a lot of people go, oh, that's awesome. It shows the personality of each one of them. It doesn't. 10 seconds of a song does not show the personality. Now, if you want to show the personality of the people in there, get them to do something fun when they walk in.
Right.
That'll show their personality. Because the wild people will be wild, the conservative people will be conservative, but queuing up 12 different songs that
your bridal party
that you're
to
going to
come
pay,
into.
and they all have to start at a different. They can't start at the beginning of the song. They have
So
to
you
start
got,
at
that's
the
where
beginning
the
of a
custom
chorus.
edit thing comes
that
back in.
that comes into a custom edit. The problem with that is that you don't know how long it's going to take them to walk in, so you can't even edit that ahead of time. Generally, it chops everything up. It makes it's not smooth, and it's just
It's all over. It's a train wreck.
It's a
all
train
over the
wreck.
place. And here's the
you need 2 people to do that. By the way,
3.
yeah,
You need 3 because you got to have somebody at the door because the people always come in before you even hit the song.
Yeah.
Because just like you might be nervous when you walk down the aisle or you're about to be introduced in the room, they are too.
Yeah, your bridal party's nervous.
They're nervous too. And they don't wait for the cue. So you got to have one person directing at the door, one person with the MC on a handheld mic with the paper or iPod or the iPod in their hand, or what am I thinking of? iPad in their hands. And then you got to have the mix master if you're not creating a custom edit. So it takes 3 people in order to get that
To do it properly.
To do it right. To do it right. And every time I've seen it, it's been a train wreck. It's been because those wedding party people don't listen. They want to party. They want to get drunk. They don't feel good. Whatever. They're not listening for their song to come out to. And they don't even know that you gave them a song to come out to because you don't want to tell them that because you don't want to spoil the surprise. It's not good. It's not a good thing.
So it overcomplicates the entire activity.
Keep it simple.
And it really goes, and because we've had to do it in different occasions, and it goes unappreciated. Because reality is all they have to do is go out there and have fun. And that when I know anytime I line up any group, whether it's a wedding or any type of event for an entrance, the first thing I'm going to tell them is you're setting the tone for the rest of the night. So when you go in there, you better have fun, because if you ain't having fun, nobody else is either.
That's
so
right.
we get them to pump it up and act crazy, do whatever. Yeah, some people are just going to walk in and go, that's their personality. That's fine. Other people are going to go nuts, do a backflip, whatever. But you want to make sure that will show their personality, that you have a flow to it. One song for your bridal party, if you're doing a wedding, is much better than 10 songs.
Chopped
It's
up.
going to be smoother. It's going to take less work. There are fewer failure points, and I didn't talk too much about failure points, but failure points is something you want to think about throughout your wedding. The more complex something you have is, the more failure points you have. That means the more opportunities for things to go wrong. Now, your audience may or may not notice these issues, but you will. And guess what also you're doing? You're stressing over each one of those points.
That nobody even cares about.
I have seen clients that have gotten so particular about everything, they never enjoyed their event because they were so worried about making sure that this activity started at exactly 8:03. And with this song and with that. So don't overcomplicate. Keep the failure points down and keep it simple. You will enjoy your event more. You'll have more fun. You don't need to be worried about all the minutia, because nobody else notices but you.
Correct.
And nobody else is going to be stressed but you and your vendors, because they're the ones that are ultimately having to make sure that it goes the way that you want. And knowing that if any one thing goes wrong, you probably will go crazy.
Agreed.
That sounds like
There's been many sleepless nights that I've had
Yes.
worrying about just what we're talking about today, which prompted us to make this video and to educate anybody who's watching it on,
because
on this.
we want your experience to be amazing. We want you to have a great time, great memories. That doesn't happen when you overcomplicate and overstress your event and make it to where you never get to enjoy it. And unfortunately, we've seen plenty of companies and people that have done exactly that. And at the end of the day, even if we knocked it out of the park and everybody had a great time, they didn't really enjoy anything. They were so stressed the whole time. It was just at the end, they're just like, oh, it's over. That's
Right.
what you got.
And
You should
that's
be
not
like,
fun.
this is the greatest night of my life. It wasn't that. It was, oh, it's over. I got through it.
Yes.
That shouldn't be your goal.
Well, We hope that you appreciate this show and these tips. If you have a comment, please leave it in the comment section. We would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about what we told you about. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? What do you think? You can reach me, Jody Harris, on our website, Sight and Sound, the letter N, sightandsound.com, and follow us on all our social media platforms. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Pat, for being on this special episode. And we will see you on the next Spotlight.
Bye.